Good morning, everyone. Hope you're all doing great, and I'm really glad that you could join me again. Today, let's take a bit of a detour because something important came to my attention. So, pardon me, the age gap moves to tomorrow, and today we do a special. And there are two reasons for the detour. First and foremost, it's you guys. I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart because for 2 weeks, this channel sat at 44 subscribers. 44! And I kept filming anyway, every morning, talking into a camera to almost nobody because I believe the message mattered even if the numbers said otherwise. And then over the last 4 days, you guys came. We're at 350 now. Yay! Thank you guys. I honestly can't believe it. I know that's tiny in the grand scheme of YouTube, but to me, it's not a number. It's 300 people who heard my honest takes and thought, yes, more of that, please. So, this special is my thank you, and the only way I know how to thank you is to keep telling you the truth. So, let me tell you one now, and this is the second reason for the detour. So something's been bugging me since I finished filming day 11 yesterday. There's a whole genre of videos out there that hands you a map of Filipinas, like the 6 types, the archetypes, the 7 types. And one of them always goes something like this. The city girl born in Manila or Cebu, accustomed to nightlife, fashion conscious, plugged into global social media trends. And this is the one that really gets me. Less family oriented than the sweet province girl. And look, I understand why these maps are comforting. They make a whole country feel manageable, but the map isn't even close to reality. Let me show you why. Starting with the global social media trends, because this one's easy. The idea that a city girl is exposed to global trends and a province girl isn't, that stopped being true years ago. I've said it before and I'll keep saying it. Social media flattened the whole country. A 19-year-old in a far province scrolling 4 hours a day is watching the exact same trends, the same fashion, the same K-dramas, the same Western relationship talk as a woman in a high-rise in BGC and Makati. Same feed, same phone, same everything. And honestly, her FOMO might be worse because she's watching that high life every single day from a far place she desperately wants out of. So wanting gets louder, not quieter. And you can see it if you know where to look. Look at how women present themselves online now. The dating profiles, the Facebook pages, the YouTube videos, the two-piece, boobs out, the poses, the whole thing. Now, I'm not moralizing about anybody's swimsuit. Wear whatever you want. My point is what it tells you because we didn't grow up like that. In my time, even a one piece was scandalous. On TV, in the movies, one piece always. That changed over time with Western influence, of course, and especially when social media came. Not with city living, with the algorithm. And me, I still go swimming in my four-piece. Private parts are called private for a reason. I mean, yeah, that's just me. People can do whatever they want with their bodies, like they say. So when a woman from a small barrio is posting the same way as a woman in Makati, that's not her being a city girl. That's the internet doing what the internet does everywhere at once. And here's the version of this I see most. The moment a woman's life improves, a foreign partner, a better income, the way she dresses and carries herself changes almost immediately. She starts dressing like the city, keeping up with the Jonases. Because to her, that's how you tell everyone back home, I made it. Geography stops deciding what she's exposed to the day cheap mobile data reached the province. So city girl equals worldly, province girl equals sheltered. That's just not how it works anymore. Now, the big one, accustomed to nightlife. Here's the truth I haven't heard anybody say. Nightlife isn't a city girl trait. It's a geography, a handful of specific places. And once you see where they are, the whole picture changes. Yes, there's nightlife in the Metro Manila party districts in Cebu, in Angeles, and Olongapo. But here's what the maps miss. Some of the biggest nightlife in this country isn't in the cities at all. It's in the islands, Boracay, Siargao, Palawan, technically province, but they party harder than Manila because that's where the foreigners flock. And here's the part to sit with. Wherever the foreigners flock, two other groups follow. Poor girls chasing a way out, and women who've decided to peddle what they can to get it. They go where the money is. The money is where the foreigners are. So the hunting ground aren't the city. They're wherever the tourists land. Now, let me do the math nobody's doing because it kills the stereotype dead. Real clubbing, the kind these videos imagine, costs a fortune here relative to what people actually earn. One night at a proper club in Manila can eat a fifth, even a third of an ordinary worker's entire monthly salary. One night. So ask yourself, who can afford to be accustomed to that? Not the retail girl on her feet 10 hours a day, not the office worker sending money home. The math doesn't work for overwhelming majority of this country. It's not a moral choice, it's arithmetic. So what does nightlife actually mean for most Filipinos? It means karaoke with your workmates on a payday, a bucket of beer and a plate of sisig to distress after a hard week. It means the night market, barbecue, live music, walking around with your friends, home by 10 on a jeepney. It means plastic chairs outside of your neighbor's house, tagay community. That's the real night out here. And a woman doing that is not accustomed to nightlife. She's just living. So who are the women actually in those expats clubs? Because they exist, so let's not pretend otherwise. From what I saw with my own eyes working in Manila for over a decade, there are basically three types. One, the genuinely rich, socialized, upper class, spending their own family's money, having fun in their own world. Good for them, nothing to see there. Number two, the calculating one, the social climber, middle class, dressed to the nines, in that club for one reason, to catch a game if she's a player or to catch a foreign husband. And understand why she's hunting foreigners specifically, because a rich local man generally will not marry her. He'll enjoy her, yes. He might keep her as a mistress, but marry down? Rarely. So the foreigner isn't her backup plan. He is her only real shot at marrying up and climbing out of her social class pile. She's not confused, she's strategizing. And number three, the one selling herself. And here I'm not going to sneer because you already know where I land. She's very often a poor girl from the province or the city, doesn't matter, who looked at her options and saw no door except that one. That's not a character flaw, that's survival. Same engine we've talked about this whole series. Understand it before you judge it. But here's the thing that matters most about all three. They are a tiny, glamorous, visible minority. And visible is the whole trap. They're the best dressed women in the room, the most charming, the most beguiling. They know exactly what their beauty and charm do to a man. They're impossible to miss. So a foreigner flies in, spends his night in Poblacion or on a party island, the exact places these women hunt, meets a few of them, and concludes this is what Filipinas are like. No, that's not a data set. That's a self-selected sample. You went to the hunting ground and you're shocked you met hunters. And the good ones you swear don't exist? They were home. They were at a karaoke with their office mates, with their family. They were asleep because they had work in the morning. That's exactly why you can't find them. They don't go where you go. They're behind the doors I laid out yesterday. You fish in the one pond where the hunters gather, and you called it the ocean. And now the one that honestly irks me. City girls are less family oriented. That is the most wrong thing on the whole map. And let's be straight about who city girls even are. Half of them are province girls who came for the work. The line was blurry from the start. I spent over 10 years working in Metro Manila, and the city women I knew, among the most loving, most devoted daughters I have ever met. sending money home every payday, carrying their parents, putting siblings through school. The city didn't switch off their traditional values. If anything, the daughter who moved to the city and became the family's breadwinner is often carrying more than anybody. And here's something you need to know. That same woman is usually the one who can actually set a financial boundary with her family later on. Not because she loves them less, but because she's ground for every peso she has. She knows money doesn't grow on trees. She's watched her partner or her husband work for his. So she protects him. She stands between him and the request. But hear me carefully. That's not a city thing. It's an earning thing. Any woman who has carried her own weight wherever she's from learns where the line is. And a woman who never had to, she never learned. That's the real difference, not the postcode. Being family oriented is not a province thing, it's a Filipino thing. It followed her to the city, it followed her overseas. It doesn't wash off in Manila traffic. So let's wrap this up. The line was never city versus province. That was the wrong map the whole time. The real line is class, money, economic pressure, what her family needs from her. A middle class woman in a small provincial town has far more in common with a Manila professional than she does with a poor woman one street over. It was never about where she's from, it's about what she is carrying. Which is the exact same thing I've been telling you since day 5. Stop dating a category. There is no city girl, there is no province girl. There's the actual woman standing in front of you. Her class, her pressures, the people she's holding up, the thing she's protecting. Look at her, not the map, her. That's the whole series in one sentence, and that's a good place to close this chapter. I got a little passionate there, pardon me. So again, guys, thank you, truly, thank you for reminding me that honesty has an audience and I won't waste it. So tell me, what's one stereotype about Filipinas you used to believe that turned out to be wrong? Let's break a few more of them together down in the comments. And tomorrow, we get back on track with the harder questions, starting with the age gap. And I'm not going to put it off anymore. I promise it's going to be an honest one. So come, walk with me.